Good morning, folks. Welcome back. It's only my second video in this here. It's John Pettipas. It's 3 minutes before 7 o'clock in the morning now of Friday, which is Memorial Day weekend, and it's the 27th day of May. This morning's front page Halifax Journal, I've read this day after day, and they're doing a very good job. They're a true journalist. Mass Casualty Commission. Victims' families not happy with inquiry. Well, now, last Saturday, in a local radio station, would have been Saturday 21st, which is only 6 days ago. This is a card which was received way back in the spring. It's late winter, early spring. Mass Casualty Commission, dear community member, blah, blah, blah. Well, as of last Saturday's reporting, this Mass Casualty Commission has cost the taxpayer $26.5 million. $26.5 million. I only did one other video on this. It was on the wonderful lady, O'Brien lady, that was a wife, mother, grandmother, and a homemaker. Think of the people that she visited every day that she was like family to. And she, by all, I didn't know them. I don't know any of the members, the family members, but directly. They take, and I do know the mother of one of the victims, actually, from many years ago. I know the mother of one of the victims. But that's it. They take, and O'Brien lady, Heather O'Brien lady, she was, by all accounts, a lovely lady, and how many people she kindly went to the homes in the morning and got them breakfast or helped them out, and friendly smile and sincere concern. So anyway, this $26.5 million, and they're only halfway through it. And you watched RCMP, and I'm going to go right at the juggler, okay? One guy gets up there and he talks, okay? And another guy gets up there and contradicts him. Then you get, well, why? What? And there's no way. We got to be fair. When you have a madman like Gabriel Wortman, nobody can. You see the stuff, and well, the police did this and down in Texas, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, you can't have police stand everywhere with machine guns or body armor. One doesn't know that. Okay, they're going after one in Texas big, of course, this tragedy, extreme tragedy of all the young children in elementary school. But it's a Republican governor. Something happens in New York, crazy Democratic mayor of New York City, and Democratic governor, okay, which was actually kicked out on a scandal, is an unelected woman that's the governor of New York, but Democrat? No, don't have to mention that. Okay. Look, one can't be everywhere at one time. That's it. There was no alert put out for the people walking the next day. Unbelievable. That somebody's in the United States and Maine, I think they were was it a ferry boat coming over or something, and they heard that there was a shooting in Nova Scotia. Yet the people in Nova Scotia, doesn't have 20 miles away, 8-10 minutes away from the thing, knew nothing about it at the time. That they shoot into a fire hall, and that the police say there's nothing I would do different. Volunteer firefighters, women in there making sandwiches, and they open fire in the fire hall, and they say to the commissioner that they wouldn't have done one thing different. And the RCMP staff sergeant wanted him. Why wasn't an alert put out? What do I call it? It's Amber Alert. Amber Alert put out. And, we felt it would overwhelm the system. Another one testifies, I didn't know that there was such a thing. And now, interesting, the guy that said, I didn't know there was such a thing, is a 40-year veteran of the RCMP. 40-year veteran. All I can say is, I'm going to wrap this up. It's a very brief one. I have so much stuff I can cover on it, but there are some very good RCMP members, and there's some excellent staff sergeants. But it's been my observation that RCMP staff sergeants tend to be like Catholic church bishops, and I'm Catholic. And there are some good Catholic church bishops and archbishops, but RCMP staff sergeants tend to be like Catholic church bishops. They tend to be very good ass kissers. And I'm going to repeat that one. RCMP staff sergeants, those that get the position, tend to be like Catholic bishops. You don't get your good priests, Christian priests, Catholic bishops generally, they're good atheists. They can beg lick. Very bluntly put, they are great, well noticed in beg lickers. And some of our RC staffs some of them are excellent. I've known some that are just excellent, finest individuals you ever want to meet. But as a general rule, the staff sergeants are worse to the membership. Okay, and again, for the third time, our CMP staff sergeants tend to be good bag lickers. And they're great, they're bureaucrats. So when you get a guy testify that only 40 years there, he didn't know there was a thing. I know hindsight is 100% vision, and it can't be a Monday morning quarterback after the football or baseball game or whatever. But man, oh man, the people that died the second day, that is unconscionable. When I see this morning, I'm doing this for the victims and their families. Victims' families not happy with inquiry, and they're shut down at every moment. When some information comes out, and I followed this pretty closely, it's supposed to be an inquiry. When you go to a court case in court, and they have foundational documents to say what went on, this is how they spent $26.5 million, folks. It's foundational documents, they call it. And they decide what went on. And if the TV remote control was part of it, they decide that. But the calculator's not part of it. That's not how you do an inquiry, okay? I'm not learned in law, but a little bit of common sense, okay? And so when something comes up controversial, the police union, yes, the police union, and the bag lickers are SCP. Remember earlier on they said they didn't want them to testify. It would be cause stress. Well, Mother of God, it causes stress. What about the sons and daughters and loved ones of all the victims? They doesn't call them stress. They shouldn't testify. How does the court? Every victim ever or a witness in a court case, alleged victim, has to testify. Our CMP, the union says, and the members say, it would cause them undue stress to have to recount what went on. To regurgitate. Recount's the wrong word. Regurgitate what went on. Just wrong. It's just, so there's something will be up on the site, and they'll take it down. They'll take it down. So they didn't want to talk about the calculator, and the TV remote was part of the financial document, but the RCMP union says it's controversial. They'll take the mention of the TV remote out. I'm using silly examples, stuff that's by me, but they take it down. It's become a farce, and I'm going to say, by the time this is finished, I would dare say at least $40 million. Half the money is coming to the federal government, half the money is coming from the provincial government. And it hasn't done one bit. The families of the second day, it's unconscionable. They're shooting into that volunteer fire department. And I do have information from some of the volunteer firefighters on the scene and what they were told by our CMP. And man, oh man, oh man. If other people heard what I've been told, nobody would want to have to go back to town police. Okay, I used to think that town police were more corrupt because they, not corrupt, but corrupt's maybe the wrong word, but influenced. They went to the same church, or their kids were in the same hockey team, or they belonged to the same service club. But when I sit in the barber shop and so-and-so's husband retired from after 30 years RCMP says, and I'm here in the barber shop, that the RCMP I joined, the RCMP I retired from is not the RCMP I joined. Okay, there are good officers out there, there are good staff sergeants, but this is nothing but disgraceful. Okay, disgraceful. And I normally don't make videos like that. With that, I'm gone on way over long limit. I'm at about the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap this up. And this is $26.5 million spent so far. And it's almost like something set up to whitewash. And the families, poor families are just so pissed. Can you blame them? Can you blame them? There's not one. It was 23 lives, by the way. There wasn't 22. There was 23 precious lives lost that day, or that rampage from the Saturday night to Sunday morning. With that, I got to go. Get a good breakfast yourself. I know this will promote lots of discussion probably, but yeah, folks, you spent $26.5 million so far of your hard-earned money. It'll be at least 40 million, maybe 50 million. And when I read this, it tugs at one's heart. Families not happy with inquiry. And why would they be? They're being shoved aside. They're the true victims of this, besides the loved ones who are lost. With that, I got to go. All the best. God bless. Get a good breakfast yourselves. Thank you. Bye for now.